The following is a special presentation of iRacing on LSRTV, your home for sim racing.
Live tonight from the Las Vegas Motor Speedway, we are here with the B&C Lawn Landscaping Truck Series for their chase for the championship here at this 1.5-mile oval, and LSRTV is going to provide all the coverage with the 10 races to decide who will be the champion of the Lawn Landscaping Truck Series here, provided with the United Sim Racing League. Up in the booth tonight, I'm Austin Coop alongside Cisco Scaramuza. We both are anxiously awaiting to see which one of these drivers is going to make it up top of the championship pile when it is all said and done. They have 10 races here this season to find out which one of them is becoming the champion. We've got Las Vegas tonight, Richmond, Watkins Glen, Dover, Talladega, Kansas, Martinsville, Texas, and Phoenix, with Homestead coming in the very end. And so with this season, it's come with a lot of different sets, and one of the more amazing things about this season is we've only had 6 different winners over the course of 20 races, which is a very low amount, Cisco. And this series has brought in a lot of talent this year and is probably going to be one of the most competitive chases for a championship that we'll see.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, it has, Austin, but the old stalwarts haven't gone anywhere. You look at the drivers chasing it out here for the championship. You got Michael Atkins Jr., Aaron Bennett, Seth the Merchant, Scott Formosa, Rich Jetty, Matt Mara, Tim Matthews, Justin Michael, Christian Peterson, Scott Simley, Bobby Terrell, and Jamie Walker. So a lot of familiar names in that list, a couple new ones, but of course we also have to keep on an eye on defending champions like Scott Simley, drivers we know who can be amazing out here, like Seth the Merchant and Aaron Bennett and Jamie Walker. All of these guys all at the top of this series and all going to be being watched with a magnifying glass tonight here for the opening round of the chase.
I think 2 drivers to really watch for tonight is one at the top and one at the bottom. Of course, Christian Peterson's going to be one of those drivers you expect to really perform well tonight. But remember, last time we were at this racetrack, little known fact, Justin Michael actually won. It's one of the 2 tracks that he won in the regular season. And so then another driver I'd like to talk about is Rich Jetty. He has really just flown under the radar and made it into the top 12 this season. And so he's going to be a driver I think we really need to keep our eyes on throughout this this chase for the championship. Remember, we take 3 drivers off each time, and all these drivers will be reset at 1,000 points for today's racing action. So everyone's on the same playing field. Wins did not give you any advantage. They're just for bragging rights if you got more than a few, which we definitely had here this time around, Cisco. But qualifying is almost off and away, and we are just about to ready to grade these guys for their championship hope here this evening. 12 drivers. You had showed them earlier. Only one driver this season has won that is not in that chase. Greg Mall was that spoiler earlier on in the season, and we may see him tonight play a factor as he's really good at these 1.5-mile ovals. Now take a look at your starting grid here behind the pace car. Aaron Bennett, he will grab once again. I believe this will be his 2nd or 3rd pole this season. I'll have to take a quick glance at it here in just a little bit, but he will get another pole on the season with a time of 31.221. To his outside, Tommy Ryan will start with Justin Michael 3rd. Michael Atkins Jr. will start 4th with Randy Oakham starting 5th. Dwayne Dunn will start in the 6th position with Kyle Manger behind him. Simley starts to the outside in the 8th position with Ralph Vandervorst, and Matt Mara starting 9th and 10th tonight.
Yeah, your 11th starter going to be Jeff Ryan, the number 10 truck. 12th going to go to Randy Tessar. 13th to Jamie Walker. 14th, Bobby Terrell. Pair of chase drivers in that group. Then you got Seth Merchant, Michael Warren, 15th, 16th, 17th to CP, Christian Peterson. Tim Matthews going to start 18th. 19th going to go to Scott Formosa. And Steve Herring rounds out your top 20.
Starting in the 21st positions, Robert Yellenwater with John Wilco starting 22nd. Rich Jetty, we just talked about him not too long ago, might be one of the sleepers in this series. They'll start from 23rd position. John Jenkins starts 24th, and then 25th and 26th is Chris Cabot and James Nunn to fly out your field. And to take a look at your Las Vegas Motor Speedway, of course, found in the desert of Las Vegas, Nevada, it is a 1.5 mile track. I was not reading that correctly, but a 1.5 mile track. And of course, this track is what you would say quite a normal track for these guys to start up on, a basic track. But some drivers really like this track in the banking it has. It has 20 grades in the turns, about 3 in the back, 9 in the front, and really this track has basically what you want if you're really good at these 1.5 mile ovals.
Yeah, absolutely. We saw this track over in the the Full Throttle RSR Cup Series here not that long ago. So definitely a lot of familiarity. This track races a little bit like a Chicagoland, a little bit like a Kansas, and a little bit like a Charlotte, but not exactly like that in all three aspects, but going for 135 laps here at the Diamond in the Desert. Definitely going to be an interesting change of pace here to see what the trucks can do out here. When we came here in C-Fixed, it was a really good race. The only issue we had was a couple errant cautions, some big wrecks we saw in that race, but this should be an excellent race here tonight.
If it's anything like what we had earlier on in the season, I do believe this race was almost caution-free for most of it. We saw some really long green flag runs in this race previously, so this is really going to make this one, if it's anything like the first one, a big part of pit strategy as well. So I'm looking forward to that, as I always am. Las Vegas with these guys has typically shown some long green flag runs, so I'm excited to see that, and I'm excited to see the strategies that come along with it, because with that becomes a lot of game plan, a lot of strategy, and who doesn't like a little bit of strategy here to start off this championship season? And as always, we are very happy to have you along with LSRTV up with us in the booth for tonight, as we will kick off the 10 races to find out which one of these drivers will become a champion here. Aaron Bennett is pole position here tonight, and he'll kick this season off right. Aaron Bennett, green flag in the air for a championship. Here he goes across the start finish line, and we'll go for 134 laps here at Las Vegas.
Yeah, down to turn number 1 we go already, side by side for your second place position. Up on the top side, Tommy Ryan, the Northern Tool and Equipment Chevrolet, falling back early, and that spot going to get taken by Justin Michael, who's going to follow into that second place position. And clearing as well, Michael Atkins Jr. Keep an eye on that 2 truck, one of these dark horses. We know he's fast, just hasn't had the consistency. He's wanted the Pepsi Chevrolet up to the top side.
Yeah, and he's actually started 4th, and he might get 2nd here on the very first lap, so it's going to be a really big plus for him. But remember, last time we were here, he immediately went to the front. He immediately got the lead and led some laps. I have a feeling we're going to see the exact same thing today, if he has anything to say about it. But look at the 3rd position. Justin Michael already has Tommy Ryan to his outside, and we are seeing an outside force already very strong here in tonight's race. And they started with 0% track wear, so this is really surprising already that the top side is so strong right now. Look at Randy Yoakum. He's not the chase, but he has already come into the top 5. Really good from him to see that. And Justin Michael trying to do the bottom. It's not working out right now.
Yeah, and up on the top side, it got a little bunched up. You saw Yoakum up there, but it was Kyle Manger who gave a huge shunt to that driver of the 511 Chevrolet of Justin Michael, and it got all sorts of cluttered there for a little bit, but off of turn 4 this time, they're going to continue to be side by side as they single file out your top 5 now, as Aaron Bennett's already out of the picture. A huge lead for that driver, and it's all sort of bunching around Dwayne Dunn, Kyle Manger, and the 22 of Matt Mara, all around that area right now, all going for the same piece of real estate, trying to get themselves single file side by side. They go. Dunn on the inside.
Yeah, Dunn's trying to crossover move, but I think the top side's where it's going to be at, and I think Justin Michael may have done one of two things. He may have been really easy on those tires, or he's just not pushing the truck hard enough. He had a great qualifying time, so I don't think he doesn't know how to push this truck right now, as they are double file behind him. But I think there is something to be said about some long green flag run potential here tonight, and we are seeing some really quick passes here tonight. And Justin Michael, he is falling quite quickly, and if he's not careful, he's going to have to pass a lot of drivers again. He might want to pony up and start actually using his tires a little bit, as Aaron Bennett appears to be doing so, as he is really going pretty far out as they continue to go side by side just inside the top 10. You've got Jamie Walker just outside looking on in. He went to look in for 3 wide, but not quite there yet. He decides to go back and go back to the top side and maybe try and get past Scott Simley. Those are the only 2 champions that we see right there, right next to each other. 3 champions among those 2 drivers.
Yeah, and it's still congested around Dunn as well. Matt Mara, the 22, a bunch of green trucks there you can see, and Jamie Walker kind of towards the rear of this group, not accustomed to seeing the Mountain Dew Chevrolet kind of in the back of the field. He's one of these front runner guys, and he's going to be charging through the field today as Major took a look to try and clear him there, and that almost went wrong. Backed out of it, truck wiggled a little bit, was able to hold on to it though. It's now the 88 going to go through on Kyle Major. Scott Simley going to try and follow him through as well.
Yeah, Major's having none of it. He started 7th, is only falling back, and so then you've got the number 68 to his outside, and Scott Simley is also another driver who's kind of flown under the radar, hasn't really made big moves this season, has won a race, but considering the great season he had last year, this is exactly what he did to win the championship last year. So he is now in the 11th or 10th position here. Oh wow, look in front of him. Jamie Walker just got cut off by Jeff Ryan, and Jeff Ryan, he started in the 11th position, but it looks like he's going to be passed on the bottom side by Jamie Walker, at least for the time being, in that yellow machine. I can't say it, but he's on the top side and making good work of that, so he's up a few positions. And right now I think we're going to see some big differences in tire wear, as we're looking for the battle for second. Tommy Ryan's looking behind Michael Atkins Jr.
Yeah, and Ryan has been sitting there lurking to try and get past the 2 truck, and Ryan fell back a little bit early on here, but was able to stay with Atkins. And you see Aaron Bennett way out in front right now. You got to know that 3 truck's feeling very happy with his run so far. Back down to turn 3 we go, and it looks like for the moment, at least your top 5 very spaced out. That kind of gaggle all starts around Justin Michael, Matt Mara, Jeff Ryan, etc. They're all vying for positions, as Walker now down to the inside of Simley, trying to make that pass happen now.
A lot of 2-car battles here, 1-for-1 positions that are up for grabs, but that also brings everyone else in. And the only driver I see going to the very bottom of the track is not Kyle Major, but Jamie Walker in the 88 machine. He does not have the power off the corners that he wants on the very bottom, but you do save your tires a little bit by going to the very bottom of the track. So I'm interested to see how that works out. And when you start to think about what you're doing for fuel, I'd say a little bit over 45, maybe a little less than 45 laps, which is kind of what we saw last time we were here. So remember, these guys have that limited fuel cell, so I'm starting to already think about that, because this is looking to be like a long green flag run. Of course, I keep saying that, Cisco, so anything can happen, but looks like Matt Mara is almost on the outside of Justin Michael. Not quite there, but Matt Mara has had a good race so far, up from 10th to 7th right now. He's looking for 6th place right now on the outside of the last winner at this track, Justin Michael, who appears to maybe be getting back on the saddle right now, but yeah, he looks like he's being passed right now. Matt Mara leads the way on the outside, and he will get that position.
Yeah, and Mara's going to be able to clear that one, and now Simley going to try and keep that outside line working, but he can't really do a whole lot there. Austin stuck behind the 10 of Jeff Ryan and just can't seem to make the run work on the outside as they'll go single file. Walker going to drop in behind him here as Michael all the way down to the inside of the racetrack and is kind of fallen back to these guys now. Has lost about 2 truck lengths or so on Matt Mara, so the 87 sliding back. Not used to seeing that, but yeah, got a little bit close there between Ryan and the 68 Assembly, but they're able to hold on to it there as side by side now. Walker continuing to try and plug away on that inside line.
Scott Simley looked in the inside of the 10 right there, but teammate Jamie Walker was right. Actually, they're not teammates, but Jamie Walker was right there on the bottom. He couldn't go to the bottom, and looks like Ryan's starting to struggle. We might see 3 wide, not quite yet, but that is going to slow him down. Seth the Merchant looks on the bottom side, but there goes the 68 to that position, and so Seth will not be able to get there. He went to go to the bottom, but Simley was already committed to going there, and I think these guys are realizing that the 10 may have burned his right front off a little bit early, and now it looks like DeMerchant is going to have a nice way to get by Simley by using the slow car of Ryan at the moment, and so Simley might lose 2 positions here as the 6-man Inc. Brigade is starting to come through, and oh my goodness, Seth DeMerchant tried to thread the needle, and he might still be able to, but he's going to not do that for now, which is good for him and exciting for us, but good for him. I think it's a better move, especially on lap 15, but he's going really high up the track there, Cisco. I don't know if that's by design, if it's going to be able to work out very well, but he gets fairly close to the wall there.
It's the little-known super high line that apparently works in iRacing. I think that's what Seth's trying to try right now, but either way, he's going to clear Walker and now go the inside, and it's going to be a little close for CP, and Peterson going to be able to make it through, and excuse me, the 6-man train has just rolled through the station, and unfortunately they left the caboose behind. Manger wasn't able to follow his teammates through, and actually now he's going to try and shoot the gap 3 wide. 25 of Manger, trying to be the showstopper here at Vegas. Going to be able to clear the 10 of Ryan, and yes, will clear Walker as well. So all 3 6-man Inc. drivers all the way through that gaggle.
My gosh, that was an impressive move by Kyle Manger to do that, and I think he needed a little help for the 10 to get a little loose or tight, whichever it was, but that definitely worked out to his advantage, and now he's got a lot of drivers behind him thinking to themselves, man, if only that had happened to me, I'd been able to take advantage of that. But Manger, right place, and was skilled enough to get through there without really batting an eye, it looked like. So Aaron Bennett currently has a 1-second lead over Michael Atkins Jr. I said last time Michael Atkins Jr. Oh, we got some contact in the front, actually. Randy Yoakum just got into Dwayne Dunn a little bit, and it looks like that's going to slow him up quite a bit, and he may have some right front damage here. I'm going to take a closer look, but I can't. Yeah, Randy Yoakum's got some right front damage. It's minimal, but it's there.
Yeah, it's kind of hard for us to see it with the cameras, so I don't really see a whole lot on the 8, but it was real close there, and he's now going to drop in behind Justin Michael in that 87 truck. So the Tim's Custom Paints entry can be scratched a little bit early on here, but Matt Mara now going to try and get the position by Yoakum as well. And Mara looking to gain a couple spots here, has been on the move a little bit, started 10th, is up to 7th right now, looking for 6th, so slowly moving forward. Another driver in this chase, and looking to see what the 22 can do. And meanwhile, right in his rearview mirror, the 6-man Inc. train has gotten to him, and he's going to go all the way down the inside and try and get a run on Yoakum here. Not sure if that was the best thing, because if those two go side by side, yep, here comes Seth, a huge run on the top side. Hello to Merchant, and he's going to get boxed in, and it's a 6-man sandwich with Matt Mara as the filling.
Yeah, you saw that coming a while ago with those two guys, and DeMerchant going to the top side, not having much to go with, and then having Randy Yoakum, and Randy Yoakum knows that those two guys are behind him, and they are fast. They have come up through the field quite nicely, as they have come from 15th and 17th respectively, and you definitely expect these guys to come to the very front of the field if they can help it. So looks like Randy Yoakum's getting passed while he's still, but just that bottom side is not effective at all, it seems, tonight, Cisco. And I'm really surprised that these guys immediately went to the top. I don't remember this last time we were here, but nonetheless, it is exactly what's happening. And so these guys I think a lot of these guys are going to the very top of the track. We got a big sandwich here. You talk about sandwich, we got a big cluster. Yeah, Jamie Walker better not do that, as the three guys in front of him are going to. Yeah, a good move by Jamie not to try that, but he's going to have a good amount of momentum if he just sticks to the bottom. And yeah, it looks like it's going to be 3 wide once again here on the front straightaway, and he's got to really push down. Oh, wow, he's going to clip the grass. Wow, I don't see that very often with these guys, but he's trying to take every advantage he can, and still 3 wide with the 8 car here, and Jamie Walker really needs to get going if he's going to try and back up that regular season championship.
Yeah, he will, and going to stable out now as Walker sends it into turn number 3, still on that inside line, but not quite as down low as he had to be there. And Manger, meanwhile, he's going to try the crossover, and Kyle Manger, and Shoe on the other foot this time. Is the 25 going to go the inside, and Walker is going to get cleared? No, not quite. Manger wasn't quite able to. Now he will clear him. And Kyle Manger, the 25, clears that position. Up top, Scott Simley going to try and get the overpass here. And he'll get a great run out of turn number 2 and attach himself right to the back bumper of Yoakum as they head into 3. All cars, all of a sudden, all trucks, rather, single file now.
This is really fun to watch here, Cisco. I mean, these guys have, I mean, you know what's on the line when these guys are driving just about as hard as they can, as you still see 2x2. And Jamie can split these guys. Whether that's a smart idea or whether they know he's there is something that's quite questionable. But this is probably one of the most action-packed racing we've seen out of these guys in quite some time. I mean, these guys are absolutely going neck and neck on lap 24. And I think one of the biggest things is the fact that we know these guys can go long run, especially at this track, since we did earlier on in the season. As you're seeing Manger go in the bottom side of Yoakum, I think this is only a matter of time for Yoakum, but Jamie Walker is fast. He lifted right there. There's no way he didn't, because he would have absolutely plowed into the 25, so Jamie could have made it 3 wide again. I think he's just trying to get through right now, but the 8's going to the very top, and he's going to try and get around Yoakum. Yoakum looks like he made a small mistake, and that's going to create him a little bit of instability there coming off the corner. So Ray Yoakum's losing a few spots here, and some of these guys are trying to get themselves back to where they want to be. Jamie Walker's only made a couple of positions up now, 3, and so this now starts the long train of cars that are trucks that are they're starting to no longer have battles. But I think Scott Simley's been in a battle about the entire race so far. I think he's tired of running side by side with everybody.
Oh, and it's going to be 3 wide here for a moment, and that was Formosa thinking about it, but this time not going to be able to commit. And Formosa just going to follow through, and Simley right to the back of the pack here, not where he wants to be. Tim Matthews also going to try and clear him as well. They'll be side by side out of turn 4, and Terrell going to now try and get his own pass done on Yoakum. It's Bobby Terrell down to the inside. He'll clear the 8 of Yoakum. Down now, Formosa looks to the inside line, and everybody's passing and then getting passed, it seems like, as they'll be side by side off of turn number 2, keeping an eye on the gap between Michael and DeMerchant. Meanwhile, as that's starting to close up, it's about 3/10. We'll go to them here in a little bit. And meanwhile, Walker all over the back bumper of the 25 of Manger. But at the moment, we watch this. Ooh, it's going to get a little bit close there for Formosa, and then Yoakum, they're going to be able to hold on to it, though, and Matthews now going to try and get by.
Yeah, still side by side. Remember, Tim Matthews took the last position for these drivers, getting reset with points and driving for a championship, and so he's going to really want to change his outlook. And so he started 18th, one of the farthest back for the Chase guys, and so he is currently in the 14th position. The farthest back, it looks like it's going to be Rich Jetty in the 18th position. So you've got the leader through all the way to 18th, but we've got someone pitting. We actually have a lot of drivers pitting, and so this will start pit stops here. And it looks like not just a couple of drivers, this is quite a few drivers coming down pit road, and this is a very different call than I was expecting here coming across lap 29. These guys will probably be pitting every 30 laps to try and get the biggest advantage on tires. And I know this is very atypical for Aaron Bennett, because he likes to run his tires as long as he can. He must know this is a viable strategy because of the change. So this looks like it's going to hand the lead over to Seth DeMerchant, and we'll see how long he's able to go out on the track, as he's got Christian Peterson, of course, behind him. It also looks like Scott Simley has fell through the sim, so he is going to have a not so good night, at least at this point, because he is now going to be 24th on the field right now. So Scott Simley is not in a good position right now, having a sim failure of some sort. So he'll be back here in just a little bit. But championship driver, defending series champion, trying to get right back out there. He's still not on the track yet, as he'll have to take a virtual tow, and a lot of other things are going to be having to happen before he gets back on to the racetrack. So we'll keep our eye on that here as we go here, Cisco, but that's a big hit.
Yeah, and a couple more trucks heading down pit road as well. You got Jeff Ryan, you got Bob Gillenwater also on pit road. Ryan slides through his box just a little bit, finally gets that truck load down. He's going to start to get service on that mellow yellow Chevrolet. DeMerchant and Peterson and Manger, though, they're staying out at least for right now, Austin. So the strategy for those three teammates, I'm guessing, is maybe cut out one of the stops. We're at lap 31. Stands to reason if you can go, about 35 laps or so, I think you're going to be good to go on only 3 stops.
I think that the long run plan doesn't always work, but it is definitely a plan I like. They're coming down now. Yeah, they're coming down now, and they're all screeching their tires down away, and they all make it below 50 miles an hour, at least that I think. I mean, they're always close, but it looks pretty clean to me this time by. So this will surrender the lead to, I think it'll be probably the 3. Well, that's who it would be if the pit stops were perfect for everybody, but have to see. Yes, it looks like Aaron Bennett will be the first driver out there, and quite a ways ahead, by the way. It looks like he's about a second and a half, and then Justin Michael and Tommy Ryan are fighting for position right now.
And that Manger, meanwhile, having all sorts of pit road stuff. But yeah, you mentioned the battle between Ryan. He's looking for it right now, Austin, as they cross the line here.
And so Ryan right now, he's definitely losing out on some, but the other driver who lost out on pit road is gonna be the number 2 of Michael Atkins Jr. Michael Atkins was in 2nd place before, or when pit stops happen. He'll probably cycle out 4th when everyone's come and done their service. So right now Aaron Bennett is going to lead the charge here to the start-finish line, and it's where my statistics will start to reset, and it does look like he will get the lead back. 2.6 seconds over Justin Michael. This was a great stop for Aaron. I know he's really been looking forward to tonight. Las Vegas is one of his best tracks, and so having Justin Michael behind him by 2.6 seconds is probably a really good thing to see, as his lead is very large. I think these guys, the Cisco, the 6-man 8 drivers and some other guys are going to try that long run because they weren't at the front. If they were at the front, they might have tried something different, but I think they have to really bank on getting some extra strategy in this play, because they were well more than 4 seconds behind, and to make up 4 seconds, you have to do it on pit road, or you lose it on pit road. The best way to not lose time on pit road is to come down one last time.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right, Austin. I think it's a factor that these guys are banking on something else, whether a caution to come out or something. But excuse me, that cough's not going away. But Christian Peterson right now is sitting 9 seconds off the lead, and you go all the way back to Seth. Seth's 19 seconds out of the lead, so something definitely went wrong for the 57 on his pit stop, because he's way further back. That is not going away than we thought it was going to be.
Yeah, we gotta. I think one of the biggest things right now is to see where all your championship drivers are. So we'll kind of go through where everyone appears to be. So Aaron Bennett, of course, is in the lead. Then you've got Justin Michael, who sits in 2nd. Tommy Ryan is not in the championship, but he's still trying to make some good races and make it worth his while to be here. So he's in 3rd. Michael Atkins Jr., he is one of those championship drivers. He's in the 4th position. Jamie Walker's in 5th. Then you got Bobby Terrell 7th. Christian Peterson is in 8th. And then you've got to go down to, looks like Tim Matthews 13th. Rich Jetty, he is in the 15th position. And Seth DeMerchant, he must have had some issues down pit road. He is currently in 18th position, so that's not good for him. And then looks like Scott Simley, he is the last driver out there. He's in last place right now because of that sim issue. No pun intended, by the way, for that. But he's 2 laps now. He's gonna have to really hope for something big. He needs a caution tonight, Cisco. And with the way these guys were here last time, he's gonna have to really
trucks too. They were here last time, so
yeah, he's gonna have to really hope here tonight that someone makes a big mistake.
So they need the caution flag to blow out the flag stand. Is basically his best shot at it, but. No, I agree. This is not a good scenario for Simley coming into tonight, but for him, it'll be a case of hope we get a caution, or else you're just kind of out to lunch, I guess, at that point. So we'll have to see if that's going to come for him. But meanwhile, Closest battle on track I'm seeing right now is actually going to be Matt Mara, the one driver in the chase we didn't talk too much about, as he's going to be on the inside of John Jenkins now, as Mara and Jenkins side by side off of 4.
Yeah, and you talk about John Jenkins a little bit. You know, we haven't had a lot of time to talk about him. He's been very consistent, though, and so he's on the outside of Matt Mara, who's also one of those other drivers who's been very consistent. And so looks like when I start to look at the statistics page, John Jenkins has had a couple good finishes at Kentucky and USA, including Charlotte. Those are all top 10 finishes. So for him to be in the top 10, he's looking for another shot at getting that. Matt Mara needs as many points as possible, so he's not going to want to give that away, and he has had some good finishes as well, 3 top 10s as well. So a couple these two drivers typically top 10s, but they need more than that, especially to make it to the next round, each and every round. So those two still fighting side by side. This is a fun battle to watch as they are continuing to roll out that way, but it looks like Matt Mara will lose out on this one for now, and looks like Tim Matthews behind them will try and gain an advantage by maybe getting some draft and hoping they go side by side one more time.
Yeah, no kidding, but it looks like single file, at least for the moment, so we're going to flash up, and another battle in front of these guys. Actually, caution is going to fly, and problems for Robert Gillenwater, the 4 truck. Big time damage on the rear end.
Oh man, this is what Scott Sibley needed to see, not what Bob Gillenwater wanted to see. Robert's definitely, we're going to have to see exactly what happened here, and looks like, oh man, we'll take a couple looks at it, but it's not what you want to see in the sim. It looks like the 57 is Seth the Merchant started going up the track, and looks like there's a lot of space between those 2 trucks, and the 4 just went around, so put 2 and 2 together, and looks like one of those network deals between those 2 cars. Sadly, that leaves Robert Gillenwater with a completely damaged truck, and he's not going to be 1 lap down, so he's going to have a lot of trouble. He might get that lap back, though. Let's see here. But nonetheless, we'll see Scott Sibley more than likely take that lap back here this time around, but we're going to more than likely see everyone come down for service as well.
Yeah, of course, no tire limit means these guys can come down for a fresh set of Goodyear Wranglers, and I definitely think that's going to be on the docket for most of them, as Bennett going to lead them all down pit road.
Goodyear Wranglers or Goodyear Eagles?
No, these are Wranglers. I had to explain this on Sunday. The trucks use Wranglers. The Xfinity
but in
Cup
the
cars
sim
use Eagles. Yes, it says that, but they technically use the other kind.
Right, so they come down pit road, and Aaron Bennett and company, they will bring everyone down, and this is I think a big momentum shift, especially for Aaron Bennett, just for the sole fact that he had such a large lead, and it's going to be completely erased. This gives those guys a shot to come back, and they had something bad happen to them, like Seth the Merchant. He'll be able to rebound back from this, so we'll see which driver is able to come off pit road 4th. I don't see any 2-tire takers, but the 3 of Aaron Bennett gets off pit road 1st. There hasn't been a driver who's led nearly the amount that he has, and it's going to be Aaron Bennett off pit road 1st with Tommy Ryan in 2nd. Looks like Justin Michael was able to snag 3rd away with Michael Atkins Jr., and looks like Jamie Walker has got back on track to his top 5 finishing ways. Well, it's not the finish of the race, but he's at that point in the race where he's back in the top 5. And then Terrell, Dwayne Dunn, John Jenkins, and Christian Peterson are behind them. We're going to take a quick moment, step aside here. You've been watching LSRTV's coverage of the BNC Lawn Landscaping Truck Series. Welcome back to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway as the United Sim Racing B&C Lawn Landscaping Truck Series is going to come back to the green flag here in just a moment. Aaron Bennett has all but dominated tonight's race so far, but it's going to take a different chapter here as the pace car comes down and away. The American Ethanol green flag is up and away. Green flag is out. Aaron Bennett leads these guys off, and they'll be side by side for battle here coming to turn number 1. Looks like the guys behind them, Tommy Ryan, Justin Michael, Michael Atkins Jr., and Jamie Walker, all close quartered.
Yeah, it's going to be very close for your 2nd through 5th area, and they're going to be side by side now down the back straightaway. And looking into turn number 3, advantage Justin Michael, the 87 truck. That Chevrolet's looking very fast here on the restart. As now up to the top side, Tommy Ryan going to get left all alone. It's Michael Atkins Jr. No, he's going to stay with him down the front straightaway here. And now it looks like Walker's going to try and clear Ryan as they head into 1.
Walker's Mountain Dew Chevrolet going to the very bottom, trying the very bottom of the track, which hasn't worked all night, but maybe at the very beginning of a run, it will. And so he's got the advantage right now, but not the momentum. And so right now, the 57, or not the 57, the 87 is going to have more momentum up towards the top side, but Jamie is really cranking that bottom. It's starting to come up the track. Jamie's going to have to be careful, and that is really not what he's looking for, because not only is he going to really hurt that right front, but he's also going to lose a lot of speed. So definitely saw that. Jamie had to get out of that one close for him, and now looks like Justin Michael will be able to go on Aaron Bennett here for the lead here shortly, and the 6 of Tommy Ryan still on the outside. Remember, he's not a chase driver, but he's still making some work here as he's starting to he's continuing to battle for the 3rd position. And then looking behind him, Bobby Terrell's doing the same with Dwayne Dunn. Dwayne Dunn's not in the championship picture, but he is trying the outside as well.
Yeah, all these trucks doing a very good job as we cross the start-finish line once again. And looking up on that top side, Bobby Terrell's doing an excellent job as well, but that's kind of your first side-by-side battle. Your top 5 or so is all single filed out, and Dunn, meanwhile, trying to make it work on the inside line, but Terrell's getting a very good run up on that top side. They head back to turn 3 again, and this time it's going to be Christian Peterson as well. He's trying to make that outside line work, the 23 truck.
Yeah, Christian Peterson is also right there, and he looks to be bad fast tonight as well, and he's had some real time to shine. The only other driver to lead after Aaron Bennett is Christian Peterson, and maybe a couple other drivers who have led some minimal laps tonight, but he is running on the outside right there over or above Dwayne Dunn, and he appears to be fast, but he doesn't appear to have blazing speed that we've seen him have here before, and I think the pit strategy is what really set him away from winning the race last time we were here. And so right now everyone's on the same strategy, and whether you have done the math or not to see how many stops it makes it to the end, that is going to be the real question as we hit lap 52 this time by. And so this is the closest we've ever seen a battle for the lead, as Justin Michael has been closing in on Aaron Bennett last few laps. This last time by, though, Aaron Bennett was a little bit faster, but when you're the coattails of somebody that close to you, there's a little bit of pressure for the leader, but there's also a little bit of an advantage to be behind because of the draft. So Justin Michael going to the top, Aaron Bennett really making that bottom work so well, and he's one of the only drivers that's been able to do that, and he's still faster. We've seen drivers be able to make the bottom work, but there's always been a driver on the top side. He doesn't have that, and he's also just bad fast right now.
Yeah, he is, and closing in right now is that driver of Justin Michael. Has done an excellent job up there on the top side and making it work. So Michael closing in and definitely showing a lot more speed than he showed in the first kind of segment in this race here, Austin, as we're almost about a third of the way through this race already. It's flying by. Yeah, we are past a third of the way already. But Michael definitely closing in. That truck seems to have woken up here from a slow start to start us off here Saturday.
Yeah, he wants to go back-to-back here at Las Vegas and bring out the broom and dust off his truck at the end of the night and try and get 2 wins at Las Vegas and crown this place his. Only way to do that is if he gets around Aaron Bennett. And I think I've talked about it a lot of times, but Aaron Bennett has not won in a long time, but he's gotten a lot of close finishes and got a lot of poles since his last victory, which has been over a year ago, and so we always talk about this at least a little bit. I won't talk about it much because it seems like every time I talk about it a whole bunch, it becomes a burden, maybe a small bit of a curse. So we'll continue to go out through the field, but it looks like Jamie Walker's right behind Tommy Ryan. They are at the very top of the track, and I think Jamie Walker knows he's got to go to the top side to maybe let that right side cool off a little bit, but At the same time, that's where Tommy Ryan's going, and if he wants to advance his position, he might have to try something different. But those four right now, they sit or the top five. You can throw Michael Atkins Jr. into this. The bit away from the battle for 6th place, which is between Bobby Terrell and Christian Peterson. Peterson is right in the back bump, all right on the back deck lid of Bobby Terrell, and Christian Peterson's looking for a moment to go to the bottom. This might be his chance. He's got some good momentum here, but not quite yet for him, as it looks single file up until we get to, well, everybody. Everybody is single file right now. I tried to look for a battle real quick, and it was not there, so we'll keep our eyes on Peterson and Terrell.
Yeah, Peterson down to the inside this time, trying to get a run from that part of the corner, but Peterson not able to do a whole lot, it looks like. He's able to close the gap when he's right behind the 14 of Terrell, Austin, but I don't think Peterson can do it on his own, or at least, you know, on his own lane. I think he's kind of stuck following the 14's tire tracks and getting some of the draft off the Muscle Milk Chevrolet. Is Peterson's best chance. Goes to the bottom again here, and see, just isn't able to gain a whole lot of ground here, Austin. So Peterson kind of treading water right now in 7th.
Yeah, and this is kind of when I start talking about how the strategy is so important, because you may be faster than the driver in front of you, but you just don't have the space to do it. So if you ever go on an off strategy of some sort, you can finally stretch your legs in that kind of manner. I think that's what Peterson was trying to do. Try and get some speed back in that fashion. Go a few laps more and be able to try and do that. So that's what we've seen him, and Seth the Merchants has to do the same thing too, as he's trying to come back to the field as after having, I think, a pit road issue. But right now, starting to look at the battle for the lead, and this top 4 has starting to bunch up a little bit more. Looks like Tommy Ryan actually is faster than your leader, but he's going to have to get around Justin Michael, who has really slowed up quite a bit, and he's right on his back deck lid. He might actually touch right here after turn number 2, but was really close. Tommy was oh so close right there, and you have to watch Tommy Ryan here. He's really fast here right now. One of the fastest trucks on the speedway. Yeah, was considerably faster than Aaron Bennett. He and Jamie Walker were actually. They were both much faster than Aaron Bennett that last time by. This time it's not going to be the same, because they have to contest with Justin Michael, which is going to be Aaron Bennett's biggest hope right now. And so they're seeing Jamie Walker going out on the bottom underneath Tommy Ryan as he was trying to look for a move on the top side of the 511 machine of Justin Michael. Did not work. So these trucks are now starting to battle. This is only good for the number 3.
Yeah, and for Aaron Bennett, it's definitely, like you said, a good thing to look in the mirror and see. But Justin Michael all but getting pushed through turns 3 and 4, and Tommy Ryan now down to the bottom side. And this is telling me I'm not sure what Michael has in terms of the long run tank. He's got a very good short run truck right now, Austin, but Michael just doesn't look like he has a whole lot of long-term speed. And it's definitely backfiring as Ryan's able to clear that time. And now Walker going to try and do something here as we head into 3.
Yeah, and it looked like Justin Michael was going to look for a crossover here over the back straightaway, but it did not work. And we're going to have a caution out here on the speedway, and it's there in turns 3 and 4. Oh, big accident. Oh, looks like the 93 of Rich Jetty's involved. And we might have one other driver. It looks like that's Jeff Ryan. Jeff Ryan's also involved. We'll have to take a quick look at exactly what happened, but I am actually seeing that this started from turn number 2 here, Cisco.
Yeah, we'll back the cameras up a little bit further and find out what happened between all these trucks. But you see Jetty, the 25 of Manger, the 5 of Gabo all running in a pack. You see the 10 go up the track a little bit here, and gonna get very wide out of the corner. Nowhere to go because Chris Gabo's up in the wall, and you see the 10 make contact, tried to get out of it, and you thought that the 93 had it saved, and just as he tried to save it, the 10 gets into Gabo. And then the 93 of Jetty just all but destroys the outside wall. And caution flies for the second time here at Vegas. A hard impact for Jetty as well as Ryan.
This is, I'll be honest, this is the oddest wreck I've ever seen.
The double wreck.
Yeah, Rich Jetty didn't even, I mean, it just didn't stop going into the wall. I'm baffled because, and then you start looking at the other wreck with Jeff Ryan, he just didn't turn. Like, both drivers just could not turn or something like that. I don't understand what just happened, because if you look at the cockpit of Jeff Ryan, he doesn't turn. he doesn't turn at all, and he just runs straight into the 5 of Grabo in the turn. That's the weirdest wreck I've ever seen. And Rich Jetty did the same thing. He just didn't turn and just destroyed his own truck. I don't know if he was upset because of the damage and knew he wouldn't be able to get towards the front or something, but this is bizarre. But nonetheless, we had a lot of drivers come down pit road during my little baffledness here. It looks like it'll be Tommy Ryan who comes out of pit road first. And it looks like we're going to have a big shakeup down pit road because Aaron Bennett, he must have had some pit road issues, so I have to take a look at that. But Aaron Bennett has led for so long tonight, and he had pit road issues, so that is going to shake up the order. And I think this is a good time to go through your midway race break. It's a little early here, Cisco, but I think it is a suitable time to go and do this. So as we cross the almost halfway point of tonight's race, we'll look at the midway race break presented by iRacing, the leading online racing simulation. iRacing has been developed from the beginning as a centralized racing and competition service. iRacing organizes, hosts, and officiates races on virtual tracks all around the world. And the fast-paced world of esports, iRacing is a one-stop shop for online racing with officially sanctioned racing from NASCAR, IndyCar, IMSA, World of Outlaws, and many, many more. So looking at your grid as we are, Tommy Ryan, one of the non-chase drivers, he's in first place after the pit road shenanigans we just had, and Jamie Walker will be hit to his outside on this next restart. Justin Michael still in third place. That's where he started, actually. Michael Atkins Jr. Too many Michaels in this series. He'll start on the outside and fourth. That's where he started. Jeff Ryan currently finds himself coming down pit road, actually, so we'll cycle this through. Aaron Bennett finds himself fifth. Peterson sixth. Dwayne Dunn, he will be in the 7th position with Bobby Terrell, John Jenkins, and Seth the Merchant running out your top 10.
Yeah, and then 11th going to go to Seth the Merchant, 12th to Scott Formosa. Matt Mara going to run 13th right now. Tim Matthews 14th. 15th going to go to Kyle Manger. 16th to Steve Herring. 17th to Randy Yoakum. 18th to Michael Warren. 19th Ralph Vandervorst. And John Wilco rounds out your top 20.
Brady Cesar finds himself in the 21st position with Robert Gillenwater sustaining major damage earlier on tonight. Scott Simley, he may get his lap back this time by. I think he may have got one this time by. We'll see if he got his next one. We'll just have to take a look here, and he needs it desperately. These two cautions are really helping him quite a bit. And then Chris Cabot, Rich Jetty, they appear to be out of tonight's race. Looks like the 5 is still down pit road, but Rich Jetty has already put that truck on the hauler, and it is going back home. Not the start to his championship hopes that he was looking for. So that's been a look at your iRacing midway race break. For more information on the wide variety of sim racing possibilities, visit iRacing.com to sign up today. And thanks to our friends at Red Bull Global Rallycross, you can now visit iRacing.com/membership, and you can use the PR code or the code PR-GRC for an opportunity to start your career on iRacing for 3 months for only $5. That's promo code PR-GRC. That's for new members only. A lot of content on the iRacing service, and there's a lot of free content you get. That includes dirt and rallycross, and $5 is if you just get coffee in the morning for a couple days in a row, or depending on your coffee, one day, then you can now be on iRacing. So that's a pretty cool deal as we come to the green flag this time by. It'll be led by Tommy Ryan. It'll be the first time he's really led all night, and it starts under caution. It'll get to the green flag. Pace car is down and away, and Tommy Ryan, he is off and away. Green flag displayed once again, and it's Jamie Walker versus Justin Michael, and at the old rivalry between them, side by side with them.
Yeah, side by side as they head into turn number 1. Michael's going to have the advantage down on the bottom side, as now Michael Atkins going to slip by as well. It's Justin Michael Atkins Jr. Is Atkins going to look to the top side now? Is the Pepsi Toyota going to have something for Justin here as we head to turn number 3? No, not quite. Will fall back in line, but dives down to the inside. So meanwhile, Aaron Bennett trying to come back through the field on the comeback tour, as Atkins, meanwhile, going to go to the top side, looking to get past the 511 Chevy. And into turn number 1 we go, and Jamie Walker just sitting back and waiting. No, he's going to send it to the inside now, and nearly going to move Michael out of the way.
I think he did, but everyone behind Tommy Ryan right now is a chase driver all the way back to Christian Peterson, and they are fighting like crazy here, like it's like the last lap. So you have to really wonder how coveted that lead position is. How nice is that clean air? We're about to find out to see if Justin Michael's really going to push the issue, and this is when it becomes that weird area of how hard do you race as the leader right now when you're not a chase driver. And I think if you're Tommy Ryan, you race like it's like you're going to race any other race. So Tommy's still out front right now, but look at Jamie Walker going down to the very bottom of the track, and Aaron Bennett, he's trying to get fourth away from Michael Atkins Jr. Aaron Bennett wants that lead badly because it was so sweet when he was there, and right now he does not have it. He's going to try and slide up in front of the two, and currently he's still on the very bottom of the track. Still side by side for the second, third, fourth, and fifth position, but Aaron might have it right here, and he does. The slides up, just barely had the room. And so he'll now start going on the two guys in front of him. Aaron's fast right now, but he now has to get these positions back, which is only going to hurt his tires. We'll see if he has the long-run speed to really make it. DeMerchant actually lost a position to Dwayne Dunn right there. I don't know if that's by design, whether he's trying to save fuel, but we at least have one stop between now and the end of the race.
Yeah, we do, and side by side continuing on. Walker down on the inside, and Bennett going to try and follow through. The three truck restarted sixth, is up to now that fourth position, and trying to make another spot here is up on the top side, making it work. And out of turn number two is going to have the line off the corner, and Walker could be in trouble. So yeah, he's going to drop in behind Aaron Bennett. Bennett to P3 now and looking for more. Three trucks in third as they head through three.
You know, Aaron Bennett doing what he's doing right now reminds me of Greg Ball at Charlotte. Just, you can tell who the dominant truck is. Oh my gosh, it was close between those two. Between Aaron and Justin Michael right there. Really hard racing right now, but it just reminds me of Greg Ball's fight at Charlotte. You could just tell who the dominant truck was and who basically could very well win this race, just hands down. But right now it's getting very close. These guys know how coveted that top spot on the track is, and not first place, but just the top of the track. How important that is, and how to get the momentum. As Aaron Bennett does look down to the bottom for a little bit. He's going to stay on the top side, but is a little bit shorter on the bottom. He's maybe looking for a little bit of space between those two because they were very close for a little bit of time. And there goes Aaron Bennett to the very top side, and not quite there yet. He's looking, it's not there, but he's going to the bottom of the track. Aaron Bennett down to the bottom.
Yeah, and now Bennett's going to try and throw it into three, see what he gets, and it was a decent run in, but Michael's going to have that outside line and a little bit more preferred as Walker's going to follow him up through there, and all of a sudden Bennett back under attack from the Mountain Dew entry, and not going to look good for Bennett here. Doesn't look like that bottom line worked the way he wanted it to. He's going to send it into turn number one here and try and recoup some of the benefit. Chops the nose off. There is Justin Michael. And it doesn't look like Bennett's going to be able to get there. He's going to have to drop in behind Jamie Walker and fall back to fourth.
I think one of the more amazing things about this is I don't think Tommy's nearly as fast as the three drivers behind him, but these guys are battling so hard and defending position in such a way that Tommy Ryan's got the advantage here. And I think maybe he is faster, but just not at this point in the run. Tommy's been real consistent tonight, but out of the three drivers behind him, he's actually slower than all three of them, or the last few laps. So that last lap, of course, Aaron was slower just because he went on the inside and did not quite work out like that. But Jamie Walker, he's got a lot of momentum on the number 87 machine, but he has nothing to do with that, nothing to do with it. And that's going to be one of the more frustrating things tonight, is the difference that these guys are trying to make out of the momentum they have. And there goes the 88, and he's going to get a push from teammate. Actually, all three of these guys are teammates right here. So it's quite interesting to see what they're doing right now. As Aaron Bennett's going to the very top side, he looks to maybe be in the outside of the 88. This battle's been really fun. I don't know if there's any other battles out there in the truck, but none's as fun as to watch as this one right now.
Yeah, we talked about Six Man Inc. Well, how about Young Gun Motorsports? Because they are doing one heck of a job right now with all these trucks up in the top 5 for the moment, and all right now being led by Justin Michael. That whole group is all teammates there and having a good battle with each other. So definitely, teammates battling out is a good thing to see here as we take a brief respite from them as we look through the rest of your field. That's where Seth the Merchant is, running 9th right now, is trying to get around Scott Formosa. And Formosa trying to fight back on the outside, but single file through most of the rest of your field here, Austin. As side by side again, Walker looked to the inside, wasn't able to do it though.
Trying to look at some lap times between drivers, and one of the fastest drivers on the speedway right now, actually the fastest driver on the speedway, is Christian Peterson. So we actually, him and Tommy Ryan basically ran identical laps. So Tommy Ryan is starting to stretch his legs now in front of the drivers in front of him, and so with running the same laps as Peterson, that's actually going to be a really relieving thing to hear, because he's actually not taking draft from anybody. Peterson is. He's behind Dwayne Dunn. That's a big amount of draft right there, because he's so close to him, and having fast lap times is always good to hear, but when you're by yourself and you're still one of the fastest trucks out there, that's a really good thing to know. And so with Tommy Ryan being out front, just reminds me of Aaron Bennett being out front, because Aaron just had nothing to worry about. He could do any line he wanted to, had no one on the outside, no one on the inside, and had no pressure from behind. That's what we're seeing from the 6 right now, and I know Aaron wants that back, and so him being in third, Justin's not giving this one up easily, and he's been in second pretty much all night long, and it's just a new driver in front, new driver in behind, and they put a little bit of a switcheroo here tonight. But right now, Tommy Ryan leads the way on lap number 79 here of 134. It's starting to take away a little bit quicker than we expected, but pit stops will be coming soon. I think when you start to think about how important pit stops are, and oh my gosh, Aaron Bennett's basically on the deck lid of Justin Michael right there, and I just can't find a reason for it, because these guys are going to be at pit stops before we know it.
Yeah, they are, and for someone like a Tommy Ryan, it's going to come, I think, and could break up some of that pack racing we're seeing, Austin, and could be trouble, because these guys have single truck speed faster than Tommy Ryan. That gap's going to get swallowed up, as it looks like Bennett's going to be able to clear Michael here, and I think once again we're seeing the timer tick over to where Michael's truck just goes from really good to out the window, because there goes Bennett and Walker right back to the back bumper of the 87. It's almost like, you know, you get over the hump of how good the tires are, and all of a sudden Michael just doesn't look like he has the speed he does to begin the run.
I do have to wonder, though, that pass looked a little too easy for Aaron, and knowing that these guys are teammates, I wonder if they got into the team communication, says, hey, you know, you just go by, I know you're faster, something like that, because Justin Michael was the slowest he had been in quite some time. So looking at his lap times, he's also had some connection issues. So yes, I think you're right about the tires, and yeah, I think he's hit a cliff, because not only did he just let Aaron Bennett by, but he also let other teammate by, Jamie Walker, and oh, by the way, Michael Atkins Jr., he's coming into the picture. Dwayne Dunn, they're closing in. Christian Peterson, this is all starting to come down, and yeah, I don't know what's going on with Justin Michael, but he has absolutely hit a cliff.
Yeah, they are falling off a cliff, as it seems, with those tires right now. As down to the inside goes Michael Atkins Jr., the driver of the Pepsi Toyota. He's been hanging around the top 5 all day long, trying to make something happen against Justin Michael. They head to turn number 3 and look not too far behind that. It's also Dwayne Dunn and CP. Christian Peterson's jumped into this conversation, as well as Dunn going to try and make the run on the outside of Atkins, and going to be at the line. Michael Atkins Jr. just by about half a truck length, and behind them you see Bobby Terrell trying to fend off Seth the Merchant in that 57 truck.
Very close quarters between Michael Atkins and the 87, and I think, oh, Christian Peterson gets in the 39. He's going down the track, and big damage for Peterson, as he's going to have a big chunk taken out of the front end of that machine, I think. Actually looks fine for now, but Dwayne has some damage for sure, and it looks like he may have lost a position to Bobby Terrell right there. So big moment for those drivers, and I was about to say that Dwayne Dunn was the only other driver aside from Tommy Ryan in the top 10 that wasn't a chase driver. And now you can give that to John Jenkins and Scott Formosa.
Yeah, we'll get a second look at that here, Austin, on the replay, and just kind of ran out of space. The 2 floated up the track, the 39 got out of the throttle, and all of a sudden Dwayne Dunn goes screaming towards the infield, and luckily was able to keep that truck on track, didn't hit the wall. So for Dwayne Dunn, that could have been a lot worse, but held on to it. The Whiskey River Tundra is going to be able to hold on and continue to run here without too much damage. A little bit of left rear, but that's about it. And as for CP and Atkins, that battle's all but broken up. CP's fallen back, starting to fall back into the clutches of Bobby Terrell and his teammate of Seth the Merchant.
Yeah, correction on two things. Formosa, one, is in the championship hunt, and Peterson does indeed have a good amount of damage that I think this will prevent him from winning the race unless he can figure something out. But looks like we got some pit stops happening. Justin Michael quickly comes down pit road. I think this is a must for him. I think, oh, he was close on pit road entry there. He's at least smoking his tires. I think he might have got away with it, but Justin Michael coming down, Bobby Terrell's coming down, Scott Formosa, Kyle Manger, Tim Matthews, and I think that's the bunch we've got this time around. And I think it's a little early for this because I think lots of these guys are going to try and make it a one-stop race to the end. These guys clearly making it too.
Yeah.
Tommy Ryan.
Bennett. Yeah, Tommy Ryan and Bennett.
Yeah, these guys are coming in and doing the same thing that those other guys did.
How much time Bennett made there.
Right, yeah, a huge amount of time between those two. And this is, I remember he had a 1 second lead over, I think it was Justin Michael before he pitted on the first green flag stop. And then he was 3 seconds ahead of him when they came out. So yeah, Bennett knows how to make up time on pit road. Unfortunately, on the last caution, he knew how to lose it too. So hopefully he doesn't punch me for that one. But gets into his pit stall nicely, I think. And so I start to look throughout the field now and see where everyone appears to be. Jamie Walker is still out there on the track, and yeah, leading laps now in front of Michael Atkins Jr. and Christian Peterson.
Yeah, absolutely, Austin. And now Jamie Walker's out to kind of all by himself. You know, we saw that whole group was battling for so long, and I talked about that single truck speed. That's kind of what we're dealing with now. So it's almost like a time trial out there. As Mara and John Jenkins, the two trucks on pit road right now, but Walker continuing to stay out, Atkins continuing to stay out with the six-man drivers of CP and Seth out there as well.
And I've got to wonder how bad that damage is going to be in the long run for Peterson. I mean, it's definitely not going to be helpful, and he's not going to be nearly as fast, but I think his corner speed's at least going to be a little faster. But aerodynamically, this thing is going to be a heap of junk. At least that's what it looks like on my screen. And no amount of time on pit road is going to fix it unless he comes down under caution. And when you start thinking about that, that's not a good that's not good either for him as well. So looking at where Aaron Bennett is right now, I'm curious, but he's found in 23rd position. I don't know if that's right or not.
That's right. He might have run into some issues on pit road again, which could have, because this was green flag pit stalls, or green flag pit stops, could have just torpedoed his chances at winning this race. Not sure what happened number 3.
He must have been speeding because he was in his stall for a very long time. So another one of those moments where Aaron Bennett's so close to winning a race and having the dominant truck tonight. It looks like it's not going to happen, which throws the door open for a lot of other drivers tonight because Aaron had such a spectacular night so far. And once again, it's just something always happens to number 3 truck to have a dominant truck not win the race. So we start to look at other drivers. Jamie Walker currently leading the race, first time tonight. Michael Atkins Jr. and Christian Peterson. Seth DeMerchant, I think, needs to hastily get by his teammate and start taking the charge, because Peterson's not going to be able to hold up as fast, I believe, because of the damage. It's pretty severe on that front end, and as these guys are getting around the lap truck of Jeff Ryan here. Oh, close quarters, 3 wide here with Peterson and DeMerchant here, and looks like Peterson's going to give this up because he cannot contest it, I don't think so. Those drivers actually have matching paint schemes. Instead of Peterson,
they're reversed.
Well, you know what I mean.
You see the reds on the top. See, I told them last week that I wanted that fixed, and I had it fixed in time for Wednesday's race. So you got the red on the side if you're Seth, and you got the red on top if you're CP. So makes it easier.
The only thing I can think of is it would look better if it has a Chiefs logo on it, but that's just me. But nonetheless,
well, that means they would choke with like 10 laps to go.
Here we go. Anyway. Anyways, Christian
left that one wide open.
Yeah, but Seth DeMerchant is now in front of Christian Peterson, and now I start looking for what the lead is currently going to be here in a little bit. And these guys are going to make it a one-stop race here in a little bit, with them getting close to 30 laps to or sorry, under 40 laps to go here this time by. It'll be 40 laps this time. Jamie Walker actually is under heavy fire with Michael Atkins Jr. Not without Justin Michael coming into the picture here and having fresh tires to boot. And wow, they are pinching down these drivers with new tires. They do not want them to have any advantage at all. These guys are getting their laps back, and I do believe there might be a little bit of front end damage. Nope, that's just my eyes deceiving me. Tommy Ryan does not have any damage. So those first two trucks, they are probably going to be battling for the lead if it's not going to be Jamie Walker and Michael Atkins Jr.
Yeah, and it's an interesting call, Austin, to stay out that long. And if you're Jamie Walker or Michael Atkins, you want to make sure your tires don't fall off the same cliff Justin Michaels did, or at least as drastically, because otherwise you're going to be in big trouble. Here comes Atkins Jr. He's going to come down pit road, makes the long arc in, and with him is going to come the 57 to 23 side by side into pit road nonetheless. So both those trucks make it down, and interesting call for Jamie Walker, going to stay out that extra lap.
You know, seeing these guys come down pit road is really fun because you can see the distance someone can make just by being behind somebody else. You can see that they're slowing down, hopefully at the right rate, and if you time it right, you'll have a much bigger advantage. But yeah, nonetheless, Jamie Walker still staying out, continuing to stay out, and I think he's trying to split this run in half, although I think some of those drivers just did that. What he could also be hoping for is a caution to keep everyone one lap down. I think for him, that would be fun. I don't know how fun that would be, but that would be fun, I think, for him to have total control of the race in front of Bobby Terrell. But he appears to be one of the only drivers on the lead lap right now, so I would believe he's going to be coming in maybe this time by, maybe next time by, but he's going to have a lot of drivers coming to the outside. Yeah, there's no way he's not coming down with the speed he's got, so slowly coming down. He's at 80 miles an hour. He's got to get down to 50, and yes, he does make it barely, but he did. And so Jamie Walker looking to make this a perfect run here to the end, and now we kind of just play the waiting game. When are all these drivers going to come down? Who's staying out still? None of them are championship drivers, but it does look like Randy Tessar, he is going to be the leader. But
I think we're waiting on him, and he's the last guy we're waiting on.
Yeah, Wilco was the other driver, but I do believe he came down pit road as well, or he's actually on the very bottom of the track, going very slow, trying to make it to pit road. Simley's coming down. Remember, he had issues earlier. He's one of the very last drivers on the lead lap currently, but he is probably going to lose it again, just because of the strategy he's trying to play, staying out as long as he can to get those laps back. But currently, I'm starting to watch Tommy Ryan and Justin Michael. Tommy actually got by Justin, and so what this could be the race for the win here. And something I was also thinking about, Cisco, is that these guys, when they did pit, I think they're very close to making it on fuel.
Yeah, if the guy's staying out, absolutely, but I mean, if we had the calculator out, we could double check it for sure, but it is going to be close, because you're asking basically anyone from here on out, you want them to run 36 laps. And if it was earlier, you know, 37, 38 laps. So it's going to be a lot, but it's a tall order. But if they, you know, 3 of those trucks, and that was 2 sets of teams there that made that decision, Austin. So I have to think that they've done the research and they know they can make it.
Be close for sure. I know that, and it looks like the lead will resume back to Tommy Ryan here officially, as he is about a few tenths in front of Justin Michael. And with Tommy being in the lead, you know, he's had a lot of success lately. He's had a lot of poles in a lot of the series he's been in. He's had 2 poles in the Full Throttle Cup Series, including the pole for the Daytona race, which is always, I think, a coveted pole to have. And he's had some good races there, and he's also been involved a lot in the Championship Esports Association, and he's also had a couple of good finishes, and he's always pretty darn good at qualifying. I think he just falls a little bit short of what his qualifying is in the races, but if he can if he can make it happen tonight, I think that'll really really shatter that that pretense that we've always seen with him. He's been really good in qualifying, just a little bit off that in the races, typically top 10, top 5 car, and really he's pulling away from Justin Michael quite well right now. And then they've got a 2.7 second lead in front of Bobby Terrell, who sits in third. That's a massive lead, and you know, we've seen this happen before with drivers. We've seen it happen with Justin Michael and Christian Peterson the last time. Two drivers just have an absolutely monstrous lead, and then there's those two drivers that are going to try and fight it. And it's not as close as it was the last time we were here, but it had to deal with Justin Michael.
Yeah, no, and Tommy Ryan definitely would savor this one if he can get it. It's not had a good 2018 in terms of what he's been looking for. Had the pull at Daytona and RSR. That didn't go to plan, and yeah, has run very well in this whole season and missed the chase. So we know Tommy's fast in these trucks. A driver who's spent a lot of time in these trucks across all 3 of the top divisions of NASCAR on iRacing, so we know he has the seat time, just not the finishes he's looking for. Certainly would be nice to see that Northern Tool and Equipment Chevrolet to go to victory lane once again.
30 laps to go here as we hit lap 104. And I'm starting to look at those drivers pioneering the second strategy, and that would be Seth DeMerchant, Michael Atkins Jr., Christian Peterson. They are 8 seconds off of Tommy Ryan. That is a long ways away to make to the end, but I think what they've got in their favor is the long-run scheme. What Tommy has in his favor is just track position. Just, you know, 8 seconds is a monstrous gap, and it wasn't that much time difference, you know, Cisco, between those two pitting. Now, if Tommy and company have to pit again, it's over. They've won. Yeah. You know, Peter DeMerchant, Michael Atkins Jr., Peterson, they'll fight for the win. Kyle Major, I think he may be in that picture, but he's not as close. But DeMerchant takes off about 8/10 that last time by, so you just have to think to yourself, if they have to come back down pit road, it's got to happen soon, because they are going to lose so much time in comparison to those guys, and it looks like that's going to happen. Tommy Ryan comes down pit road. Wow. I don't know how...
I realized it.
Yeah, I don't know if this is really going to work here, Cisco, but I think this is the plan he has to do now. I just think it's too late.
Yeah, I think now with Ryan coming down, taking fresh tires, assuming it doesn't go a lap down, if he can make it out in front of these guys here and maybe something happens at the end, he's actually going to have a little bit better tires than Seth and the rest of the group, and that would be maybe his only chance. But yeah, no, if he realized it, then Justin Michael, Bobby Terrell, the rest of them, that's not going to bode well for them. They're looking like old Tennessee right now.
Oh boy, had to throw that one in. But yeah, Justin Michael right now at this point is, I think, either going to, I don't know what he's going to do, because the lead went from 8 seconds to 4.49. I think the strategy call is not what they were looking for. He's going to be coming down pit road this time by, and he's a little loose on the entry. But yeah, this is one of those times where you just think to yourself, man, if it only had come down a little bit different. So the lead exchanges hands to Bobby Terrell for the time being, but I think he's going to quickly realize as well it is not meant to be right now. But looking at where these guys are at, yeah, it looks like Tommy Ryan's 1 lap down. So unless these drivers can make it on field, which I have a feeling they're going to be just fine, I think the strategy just went in the wrong direction.
Well, they're worrying about strategy. We can watch a good battle between Bobby Terrell, John Jenkins, and Scott Formosa. All 3 of these trucks, and just I say that Formosa going to bail. So it leaves 2 trucks staying out. John Jenkins, Bobby Terrell, they were battling it out for a little while here, and going to continue is John right on the back bumper of Terrell here. These trucks, we know they have to come down pit road, so really kind of a meaningless battle, I guess, as it stands, but they're going to battle it out nonetheless as Terrell's starting to pull away just a little bit over John Jenkins.
I think if I was Bobby, I would just save fuel to the end, and no matter where you finish, you at least finish in front of your colleagues.
Nope.
Yeah,
say something.
Pit road comes Bobby Terrell. I think they can't make it on fuel if they're coming down. They think. I think
white flag brought to you by Credit One Bank, as John Jenkins wanted you to have.
Right, exactly. No, the pieces didn't fall, and I was hoping I would at least get it out. But you know, if they were able to at least save some fuel, make it to the end, then I think that's way better than going a lap down via the pit and then having to really focus on your way back and just savor some fuel and get to the end. But now this is just really in the hands of DeMerchant. This is going to be a great race for the two drivers behind him. Christian Peterson's a good race for him. Michael Atkins Jr. And then
great race for Atkins Jr.
Oh, yeah. I mean, this is going to be a huge momentum shift for a lot of drivers. Bobby Terrell is going to lose a lot of time, but remember how early Jamie Walker had pitted right there? You know, he's in the fifth position now, and you know, he's quite a ways away, but at the same time, he's still going to have a good race tonight, too, permitting this continues to stay. Now, if we have a caution, I think this is going to really change a lot of things, but it's not going to help anyone that just pit in any sort of way because they're going to be a lap down. They're going to have to take the wave around. And so I'm actually hearing Jamie Walker shut off his engine in the corner. So that kind of tells you a little story right there. So he's holding on and hoping something happens. As a lot of drivers are. I mean, there's only 7 drivers in the lead lap, and the strategy is just not going their way. I think they just picked it, and it was, I think they should have done their math again, because this is a I hate to say it, it's a bad strategy call.
No, and if you're Seth the Merchant and you're Christian Peterson, it's a CP just came off of pit road.
Ah, so maybe it's not.
Something? I don't know if this is necessarily locked up for them all of a sudden.
Doubt is starting to plague our minds, and maybe Seth can't make it to the end. Maybe these guys do have something planned up their sleeves, and if they do, then it makes me wonder about Jamie Walker, what his plan truly is. If Jamie Walker is saving fuel, perhaps he has a truck that can win the race based on a pure fuel-saving strategy. The only thing about it is he's letting these drivers go by at about 10 miles an hour faster. So definitely something to think about. But I think if you're the Merchant, if you're Michael Atkins Jr., you're holding on to your cards just like some of these other guys were, and hoping you can make it to the finish. I think Peterson probably couldn't make it to the finish based on fuel, and he may have been overheating too. So there's those couple things too. His truck has to push a little harder, and Michael Atkins Jr. has considerably lost some time on the clock as well. So perhaps he is starting to save some a little bit. But I don't hear him necessarily getting off and out of the gas earlier or turning off the engine. So definitely a lot of things to think about here late in the going, Cisco, as we have 20 laps to go. Tommy Ryan just got his lap back from Seth the Merchant not too long ago. That puts him in the 7th position. He just got his lap back. It is in 7th. So that tells you that maybe these guys... Maybe it looks bad for everyone else, but maybe it's going to look bad for these guys staying out. You know, the fuel calculation sheet would be much easier if these guys did a full fuel cell, but they don't, and that's what makes this so interesting, in my opinion.
Yeah, and for Seth the Merchant, we're at 19, going to be 18 laps to go at the line here. If you're Seth, I'm wondering if you played that strategy hoping for a caution here or something like that, because as it sits, we're not confident he's going to be able to make it. So right now, continuing to stay out, but could have maybe short fueled on CP. Maybe the issue was there, but Peterson right now running 12th overall and not too far away from the driver in front of him. So John Jenkins, Bobby Terrell, Scott Formosa, Justin Michael, and Tommy Ryan. So at the very least, CP's probably going to get a top 10 out of this regardless, but just confused on the call there, because I thought Seth would have been good to go, but we'll find out here. We're watching to see if he has to come to pit road. Nope, stay. Yes, here he comes. So yeah, they're short, and he's going to blow the pit road entry right there. Nearly gets Michael, and here comes the 2 of Atkins right on his bumper.
Yeah, Michael Atkins was right there, and this just so I think this is just that part of the strategy that's just going to completely just crumble apart. I mean, these guys are not going to be competitive because we're under 20 laps to go, and they're going to lose this lead to Dwayne Dunn for the moment, and I don't think Dwayne Dunn can really do anything with this. So this is complicated amount of strategies that are out and abound. Really puts it in the hands of, well, I think Jamie Walker. I think Jamie Walker has a decent shot at this if he can save enough fuel, because the next driver that's per position is Michael Warren. He's in the 5th position. He's 2 seconds back. So if everyone in front of Jamie Walker pits and he can make it on fuel, he then has to worry about Michael Warren, Randy Tesser, and then guess who? Tommy Ryan, 18 seconds behind Dwayne Dunn. Dwayne Dunn right now is currently still out there with a completely damaged truck nonetheless, just so you know. So if he plays this strategy right, he's going to have a great night. Of course, he's not the championship, but hey, nothing less to school these guys on strategy, which is really fun. And hey, guess who just pulled out right in front of your leader, Dwayne Dunn? That'd be Christian Peter or Seth the Merchant coming off of turn number 4 right now. So that's the difference of what these guys are doing right now. So really waiting for this to kind of all play out, and I'm liking the strategy that Walker's got, but I just don't think it's going to work out because of how much time he's going to lose to Michael Warren, who I think Michael Warren might be able to, I think Michael or Dwayne may be able to spoil this.
It's going to be interesting here. Dunn certainly, if Dunn can make it, he's in the best seat in the house because he's 15 seconds ahead and he can afford to maybe coast a little bit more than Walker can. Walker's only got about a 1.5 seconds cushion between himself and Warren. Warren's certainly running decently, but is about to get passed by Randy Tessler there in the 69 truck. So Randy looking to get past the 9, but you can see the 88 not far in the distance, and no, I thought he was slowing down, but nope, he's still going out there. So closing in though, Tessler going to make the pass on Warren, and Tessler's been faster. No, split the difference. Tommy Ryan shoots the middle, and all of a sudden it's now the 6 truck versus the 88. And, those two right now could be the last 2 alive here, and of course all depending on what happens with Dwayne Dunn, but Tommy Ryan up to 3rd now and tracking down that driver of Jamie Walker.
Tommy Ryan is leagues away from Justin Michael, so no one else is going to be even close to making this if Tommy Ryan can't make it to the front. If Tommy Ryan makes it past these drivers, of course, he will win because there's no one contesting him. Dwayne Dunn, with a completely damaged race truck, he has to save. He has to make sure he can get to the end of this race, and he'll probably be just destroyed as the rear end of that truck is. Remember, he got destroyed by Christian Peterson earlier on, and that was before the last caution, so he has plenty of time. Excuse me, plenty of time. He does not have to push this truck at all in any sort of way. He's 14 seconds ahead of Jamie Walker and 16 seconds ahead of Tommy Ryan, and I said this before the start of tonight's race, I love these strategies and I love the way they turn around.
Nope.
But oh, Dwayne Dunn comes down pit road, so there goes the strategy. And I think that's the fun part about it too, is seeing when someone starts to fold their hand. So Dwayne Dunn folds his hand here at Las Vegas and is going to turn it over to the 88 of Jamie Walker, who finds himself coming out of turn number 4. And now he has to start putting the extra fuel in the tank if he's going to try and stay ahead of Tommy Ryan. And I think he may have been saving, knowing that this was going to happen, and now he's starting to really put it all together. Nonetheless, he's putting up a great effort, and Jamie's at the point now where he's got all bets are off. He's got 10 laps this time by to decide whether he needs fuel or he's going to make it to the end and press his luck.
Oh, wheel of fuel economy, turn, turn, turn. What's the lesson we have to learn? Is it going to be Jamie Walker on top using the using hypermiling and saving enough fuel to make it to the end? Or is it going to be Tommy Ryan who's going to be able to be on top here? He's 1.6 back. The gains have been slowing for the driver of the 6 truck, so it hasn't been quite as stampeding as he used to be, but that could be because Walker hit his number. We just don't know. 9 laps to go at the line.
And so it's going to be Walker, Tommy Ryan, Michael Warren, Justin Michael, and Scott for most of your top 10. But there goes the number 9 of Michael Warren. He's dropping out, whether he's out of fuel or whether he just cannot make it to the end here. I don't think he's going to be able to speed up in any sort of fashion. He may be out of fuel. He's actually going to be able to coast. So there goes Michael Warren outside of the top 5, and my mouse button just broke, so I'm permanently fixed on Michael Warren.
Yeah, and we'll hit old star 88 enter on the keypad there, Austin. That'll take you back to the leader of Jamie Walker. It's going to be 7 laps here at the line. 9/10 now the gap between himself and Tommy Ryan, closing in here. Time running out though, and I guess Tommy Ryan, are you feeling lucky?
I think he's feeling lucky here, Cisco. I think a lot of these drivers are wanting to feel the luck, and I think right now Tommy is going to be within striking distance. I think he's really got to hope that he's got the truck to pass him whenever he gets to him, or just hope that Jamie Walker is, you know, isn't able to hit the mark and run out of fuel before the end of it. So I think Tommy, he's got a fast truck, and he's actually getting him pretty quickly here. So go from 9/10 to 7/10. This is going to be a close one, but I think regardless of whether Jamie has enough fuel or not, he may come up short in more than one or two categories. And if I'm not mistaken, I think he tried fuel last time here at Las Vegas. Is that right? I think he did.
Yeah, that sounds familiar, but definitely the 88 trying to make it work on strategy. As we look back into a little bit of a gaggle here, Justin Michael has gotten around Scott Formosa, but Formosa will not let him go. Hello, 80 truck to the outside. He looked coming across the start-finish line, and now the 14 also looking for more. The 80 heading into turn number 1 this time, and right on the back bumper of Justin Michael.
Yeah, Justin Michael hasn't had very good long-run speed tonight, which is pretty atypical for him. And so now with Scott Formosa wanting to get by him, he has the 14 of Darrell right on his inside. And yeah, not exactly what he was hoping for, but the number 87 is making his truck pretty wide on the track and able to make sure that the 80 does not get by him. And so looks like Michael Atkins Jr., he has the faster truck out of all these drivers in front of him right now. And so he's going to try and make quick work of him, get back into the top 3 here and get a podium spot. He's down to the very bottom of the track, and behind him you have John Jenkins, who John's having a great night tonight. He's looks to finish 7th if he finishes where he's at right now. So with this gaggle of drivers starting to still get mixed up here, Michael Atkins Jr. going to the very bottom of the track. Even with new tires, it doesn't look like it's going to work, or at least at the moment, as they're going to stay right here. If a caution's going to come out, it's going to be because of these drivers right now. But I don't see that lead getting too far away with Jamie Walker and Tommy Ryan here. Looking back at the front, about half a second.
Well, hello, Atkins. He sent it that time, got into Terrell, and basically smashed his way through to in front of the 14 truck, now to the 80 as they go into turn number 3. And Atkins basically made his way known to that 14 truck and opened up the path, as here comes Seth the Merchant now. Going to follow through as well, but it's a gaggle back here for about 4th on back.
He may have to do the same thing again. I mean, that truck really stuck. I mean, yeah, he ran into the 14, but he made some big progress here. He's going to try and do the same thing, I think, here going into turn number 2. And he'll be able to slide up. Whether he hits the wall or not, it's going to be close. So he gets the position here. One more, and he'll be on podium. But he's also got a few drivers behind him that are really looking for the same thing. 2 laps to go this time by. Jamie Walker still leads over Tommy Ryan. He can't really do much other than just what he's doing. 2 laps to go, and this battle for third's gonna be fun to watch too, as we continue to monitor both battles for the lead and for 3rd position here tonight. And Justin Michael right now has the number 2 right on his back bumper, and nothing he's gonna be able to do. He's got the inside of him right here. Oh, I think we got somebody out of fuel. It's Jamie Walker. He is out of fuel once again. I think this is the 2nd time here at Las Vegas. Luck did not work out for him. So Tommy Ryan will gain the lead, and this is actually not very good for Jamie at all, because this is the white flag lap, and he's not going to get all these positions back. He might as well just park the truck. So battle for the 2nd position now. Michael Atkins Jr. is going to pass by the 57 here. This is the final lap, remember. And so this 3-way battle here for 2nd. Justin Michael at the top. And then you've got Seth the Merchant on the bottom. But Seth the Merchant's more than likely going to get this position here coming out of turn number 3. But coming out of turn number 4, it's going to be Tommy Ryan, who started from 2nd position tonight, played the strategy perfect, and rolled the dice, and it worked perfectly here at Las Vegas. This is his first win of the season here to spoil the chase drivers. Congratulations to Tommy Ryan here, as he is the victor here in the desert.
Yeah, the diamond in the desert goes to Tommy Ryan, and right at the end, we saw it coming to the start-finish line. It was Seth the Merchant was able to make the last corner pass on Justin Michael to steal away 2nd. Michael dropped to 3rd, Atkins to 4th, and Scott Formosa going to finish 5th there. But Tommy Ryan made the fuel last. It was a great strategy call by that Northern Tool and Equipment machine, and Tommy Ryan going to celebrate for what seems like for the first time in quite a while. He's going to burn him down here at Vegas.
He has had 2 second-place finishes, 2 third-place finishes, a 4th, a 6th, a 7th, 2 ninth-place positions this season. He has finished in the top 10 most of his time here this season. He has not raced every race, but he has been up there a lot, and sometimes when you are up there towards the front quite a bit, sometimes it is your turn eventually. So he will finish tonight as your winner, and he will burn the tires off that thing, and a much-deserved win here tonight. Did a very, very good job of saving fuel, making the strategy work just right. So Tommy Ryan, he wins tonight's race. We'll see who finishes behind him in tonight's LSRTV finishing order. Seth DeMerchant finishes second. Justin Michael will finish third. That's where he started. Michael Atkins Jr. You know, it's funny. He finishes in the place he started too, and that was where they started the last restart too. So that's really, really interesting, actually. Scott Formosa finishes fifth. Great race for him. Bobby Terrell sixth. John Jenkins, he plays a great race tonight from 24th to 7th, biggest mover of tonight. Christian Peterson finishes eighth. Kyle Manger ninth, and Aaron Bennett finishes 10th.
Yeah, and finishing 11th here is going to be Tim Matthews. 12th going to go to Randy Yoakum. 13th position is going to go to Ralph Vander Vorst. 14th going to go to Dwayne Dunn. 15th to Steve Herring. 16th to Matt Mara. 17th going to go to Jamie Walker. 18th to Michael Warren. 19th to Randy Tessar. Scott Simley rounds out your top 20.
Finishing 21st, John Wilco, with Robert Gillenwater finishing 22nd. Jeff Ryan 23rd. Chris Cabot and Rich Jetty would finish out 24th and 25th as they had their accident earlier on in the race. We'll take a quick break here on LSR TV as Tommy Ryan, Seth DeMerchant, and Justin Michael will be talking to us here fairly shortly.
I'm driving the number 20 JGR Toyota Xfinity car this weekend. Really great opportunity here at New Hampshire at my home track. Over the past 2 weeks, I've been on iRacing, practicing a little bit here and there with the modified and the NASCAR Xfinity car. So it's been a lot of fun. It's been a great tool for me to kind of get used to that stock car body again and be prepared for the race today. Well, yeah, it's a mile long, so the draft kind of plays into effect here with the modifieds. Punches a big hole in the air, and we run restrictor plates. So it makes a big difference. Just really fast, and it's our Daytona. So that's what's great about it, and we have a fast car for tomorrow. I think the biggest thing is they're heavier cars. The tire's a lot different. And the way you go about setting them up is a lot different. They use all 4 tires more than a modified, where we typically drive off the right rear, you know, so. Well, actually, it's funny. I raced NASCAR race in 2003 before iRacing came about. And then when iRacing came about, my friend Kevin Iannarelli, who works at iRacing, kind of told me, hey, man, you need to switch over to this. And when I did, I was like, oh, my God, this is like real life. So I started using it as a tool of mine to really prepare for modified races, whether it was Stafford or Thompson or Loudon, Bristol, and then obviously the Xfinity Series last year, going to road courses, trying to get laps, and use it as a tool that can get me as prepared as I could be without actually doing it. So it's been great.
Welcome back to LSR TV's coverage of the United Sim Racing B and C Lawn Landscaping Truck Series, as we have a new winner this series. And we're in the championship hunt, and it's not one of them. It is Tommy Ryan, who has spoiled this one and has cashed in here at Las Vegas. Tommy, you win tonight's race in spectacular fashion. It may not have been the strongest truck, but you were very strong tonight in a lot of ways, and in the end, you played the strategy right, and we're at the right place, the right time off pit road that last time by, and this was a phenomenal race for you, and congratulations on your win.
Yeah, thanks a lot, man. I had no idea which was the right strategy. And I saw, and I got to give credit to Bobby Terrell. He's usually pretty spot on with fuel stuff. And I saw him call out he was going to be pitting. And I was like, that's not a bad deal, man. We'll pit with 50 to go, pit with about 25 to go. And, man, you could just let it eat for those 25 laps and get everything out of the tires that you could. And I just tried to pace whoever was leading, and that way I knew that there may have been some guys back there saving, and maybe if they caught me, then depending on how much tire they had, you know, it's hard to pass unless you were just freaking had some fresh tires. But yeah, I just hit my marks and just tried to pace with the leaders and try to stay out of trouble, and got a win, dude. I mean, this was when when Jamie came over the radio and told me he wasn't going to make it. I was like, I had no idea. I was like, I was wondering how the hell that was going to happen. That was man, that was a good surprise for me, and I was catching him just a little bit, but I thought I might have run out of time. But hell of a win, man. That was fun.
It was interesting to watch. I mean, you're going back and watch us talk about this race. We thought your guys' strategy was the strategy not to do until we realized that some of the other strategies weren't going to work out, and we were just curious how some of these we just didn't know either, you know, up here in the booth, you know, with the limited fuel cell. It's hard to say, you know, there's a percentage of fuel, but there's a lot of different factors that go into this. And so having this limited fuel cell really makes these kind of races fun to watch, and, you know, our tires can be that much better. And I think you showed that your strategy played out, and you rolled the dice and it worked there for you. I mean, it is Las Vegas, so I mean, you know, throw that in there just a little bit there. But you know, you're not a chase driver, but you definitely spoil this. You're only one of 2 drivers to win that's not a chase driver this year, and you do it in the last 10 races of the season.
Yeah, as far as the chase goes, you know, there's a little bonus out there that Aaron's throwing out for the first driver out of the chase who finishes the best in points. So that's my goal. As far as fuel mileage and tires and all that, you really could spoil your fuel mileage, but I mean, you could run flat out for several laps. But if you were to, you know, crack the throttle and work the fuel a little bit, it could play in your favor there at the end. So it is a lot of fun. I mean, a lot of tracks we go to, it's hot and slick, and you can't really get to the throttle. But this deal tonight, man, you could flat foot it for a few laps easily. And you could burn the fuel if you needed to, without a doubt. And I was just like, man, I'm just got to let it eat. But, hey, great win. Thanks to DJ Beverly, Coastal Safety Auditors, Northern Tool, Frosty Pop Racing. Just a really good win. Thanks for Aaron putting this on. And obviously, you guys, obviously. Thanks, man.
Well, you answered my next question, so I think that just about does it for you. Congratulations once again. It was a big win for you, and we'll see you at the next one.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot.
All right, and we'll throw it down to Cisco, who has caught up with Seth the Merchant. Seth the Merchant finishes second tonight here in the desert.
Yeah, and it was a drag race to the line. It was a pass out of turn number 4. Seth, walk us through it. The strategy didn't quite work, or I guess it sort of worked to your liking. You're able to rebound to a second place, but you come down really late here. Had to get fuel in the truck. Had to come down and take fresh tires. What was going through your mind during that pit stop?
Yeah, just with the mistake I made earlier in the race with missing my box, it put me in pretty bad track position for the whole race, and it messed me up there for that last run we had. And I didn't think if I went on the same strategy as Tommy, I was going to be able to run him down. So I tried to just get off strategy and see if I could maybe get lucky, and it almost worked. But I think if I didn't have to get through so much traffic, I might have got him. But it's so tough to pass here with the way the track is in 3 and 4, how bumpy, and the left front's like on the track, so it just made me lose a little bit more time than I wanted to. But I made up more time. I think I was on the better strategy, just started a little bit too far behind.
And talk us through that last little bit of battling. You caught the last group with Atkins, Michael, for most of the rest of them, and it was a pass out of turn 4. Walk us through those last couple laps.
Yeah, that was crazy. I had a pretty big tire advantage, so it wasn't too difficult, but still, just with the way how tight it is down on the bottom, it still made it pretty hard. But luckily we got him just barely at the end. I had the right front dying out of turn 4, giving it everything it would just to try to get my nose ahead of Justin. We just barely got him.
Well, the good news for you is you're the highest finishing chase driver coming into tonight, so definitely something to walk out of Vegas with. But sponsors, shout outs, who gets it done for you and your team?
Just got to thank Vinci Racing, Christian Peterson, and Kyle Menger. in here tonight, and Peterson Irrigation for being on the truck, Austin Designs for designing all our logos and stuff, and Six Man Race Cars. You can go like them on Facebook. We started posting all that stuff recently, and our spotter for tonight, Mason Dunn and Anthony Ankello.
All right, well, that's Seth the Merchant finishes second here from Las Vegas. And I'll jump down and talk to the guy who finished third here, and that's Justin Michael, and not quite where he wanted to. He wanted to hold off Seth for one more corner, but wasn't quite meant to be. But Justin, a great run for you out here at Vegas, and talk us through the race, man.
You know, I love this track and really wanted to win, but the new build just isn't setting right with me, so I'm still trying to figure that out. And but it was a good race, good clean race. We stayed out of trouble, which was one of the important things. Got a top 3, so we can't really complain about it. So we'll move on to next week, and hopefully we'll get a win here.
We saw you were kind of having struggle in the long run. Was that really where you were losing a lot of speed? It just seemed like the truck didn't want to work with you kind of those second half to 3/4 of the way through a run.
Yeah, definitely. The last half of the run, or last quarter of the run was really, really bad for me for some reason. I'm not sure why. I mean, we saved tires and everything we needed to do, and it just didn't set right with us at the end. But it's a learning experience, so we'll take it and we'll learn from it and move on.
Well, you got plenty of races left to go here, 9 left to go before the end of the season. So sponsors, shout-outs. Who gets it done for you and the team there?
Yeah, just 511 Tactical, AR15.com, because we always have to support our Second Amendment rights of the NRA. We put them on there as well. And just everybody out there watching the broadcast, you guys for calling the race, and appreciate Aaron for putting on the league.
All right, well, that's Justin Michael, finishes third here from the Diamond in the Desert. Justin, congratulations, and we'll see you next week.
Thanks, guys.
And I'll do it here for us from Las Vegas. Not done by any stretch here, the racing action here as we begin the new week. And Austin, of course, kicking off. We have the Majors Copper Classic coming up tomorrow at around 5 p.m. Eastern. And after that, RSR action. And going to be off on Cars Tour this particular week. So we get a week off from that. But still plenty of racing action here on LSR.
Oh yeah, and you can check that at livesimracing.com. You can go to our Facebook page, Twitter as well. You can catch everything at pretty much those 3 as well. And yes, but bunch of fun racing, and then yeah, we'll have the Cars Tour off. I think the Cars Tour has a little bit of a little flexibility in the schedule, so gives everybody a little bit of time to prepare for each race. So that's a little bit of fun to watch. But from all of us here at LSR TV, I'm Austin Coop. It's been Cisco Scaramuza, and then from everyone behind the scenes, we thank you for joining us tonight, and we'll see you at the next track.